Hey y'all, welcome in or welcome back to the channel or welcome to a new video. I am in an extra good mood today. The sun is shining. The birds are chirping. Not like figuratively chirping, but they are like I can hear them from my window. It's such a nice day outside. It's just putting me in such a fabulous mood. So maybe in this video I won't be such a crotchety millennial. We'll see. And listen, I know I'm in a really good mood today, but if you're not, if you need a bit of a pick-me-up, I posted in my community tab last night, sharing a bit of joy from my own life, and asked you what joyful things have been happening in your life. Quite a few of you weighed in, shared moments, some big, some small. It did give me a bit of a pick-me-up this morning, reading them. You know, hearing about people's lives, a tasty drink that they had, getting a new job, all of this stuff. So if you need a pick-me-up, go check those out. Also, if you haven't shared your moment, I would love to hear from you in that post or in the comment. What's a moment of joy? Something that made you really happy this week, big or small. So what are we talking about today? Today we are looking at some Amazon must-haves. This is an ongoing series on this channel. This is video 7 or 8. And so in this video, we're going to look at some TikToks about people telling us stuff that we need, that we should buy. And we are going to be pushing back on some of the overconsumption that goes on in this corner of the internet. The Amazon must-haves, Amazon essentials, Amazon shopping content is honestly kind of unhinged at this point. Like there is so much stuff being pitched to us all the time, and we're going to talk about it today. So if you like this video, you can check out the playlist. I'll link it in the description. I'll also link the previous version of this that I did in early February if you enjoy this content, and we're going to get into it. The first item we're going to talk about today is a tech device. Let's watch.
Is charging.
Yes, this is a robot window cleaner. And we've seen, like if you've been watching this series since the beginning, we have seen some expensive items pitched over the past year. We've seen the Bartison, which is like $400. We've seen the $400 toaster, the LED toaster. We've seen a bunch of this stuff. I don't think anything has come close to what this costs. So no, this automatic robot little window cleaner is not $400. It's not even $500. It's $600. This is also the cheapest model that this brand offers. They have other models, like they have one for $1,000. This is beyond unnecessary for majority of people. I feel like the only people who this could be for would be people who have a large amount of windows, number one, or people who have hard to reach, hard to clean windows, like maybe super tall windows, or potentially people who may have trouble standing as well as having mobility in their hands, fingers, arms, things like that. But a $600 robotic window cleaner, I still think is cost prohibitive to many people. It's just a wild thing to pitch. It's wild to me because you can clean your windows for free. You take some Windex, you take some elbow grease and a cloth. You are your own window cleaner, and it'll probably be faster than this robot. This is just generally not a tool that most people need, because I don't think most people have so many windows where they go, oh my God, this is a headache. This is like another over-engineered tech device that is generally unnecessary for the average person. But if an average person doesn't have that many windows and it was not made for mobility purposes, this is just convenience culture, trying to use convenience in order for average people to justify the price tag. And like I have heard from so many people over the past year, but specifically since the start of this year, just like the tough economic climate, we're pitching this. Maybe people are actually buying it, or maybe she doesn't care. Like maybe the commission is high. And this creator too, like she's the one who pitched the $125 cutting board and the $400 toaster. So I guess it doesn't really surprise me, but it's not necessary. I also just want to take a second to touch on this creator who is repitching things that they've already pitched previous versions of. So last summer, she pitched an ice cream machine. It was a Cuisinart ice cream machine. It's one of the most popular videos on her channel, has something like 24 million views. And she made a few videos of it between like June and the start of this year. She is now pitching this Ninja ice cream machine. And then she posted the Ninja video in early March, and it says, "My creamy swirl has been working overtime over here at me every night because I have free will," implying that she uses it and it's like it's her favorite thing. But we were doing this exact same thing with the previous ice cream machine. So do we have two ice cream machines that we're using? Because I think she used the previous ice cream machine long enough that it wouldn't be eligible for returns. So do we really have two ice cream machines going on? Or did she use that for like 6 months and then declutter it and then made way for this new ice cream machine so she can pitch you something new? And she very well probably didn't even have to buy this if she got it on Amazon, because she can buy this with the commissions that she earned from selling you stuff on Amazon. And then we also have a bunch of Stanley stuff. Like, she is such a Stanley person and she's made lots of Stanley content. Here's a reel of her with Stanley storage. You can see all the Stanley cups she has. And also there is her pitching different storage for your Stanley. So we have that. But then very recently, she also started pitching this glass mug, which is basically a glass version of a Stanley. Also funny, 2 of these videos were Blue Mats. In these Amazon videos, I do regularly talk about how these creators are businesses. First and foremost, they are businesses, and their goal of their business is to make money. That might be a point you're familiar with if you've seen these videos before, but I think it's always worth reiterating because of how these advertisements really are pitched to us, with this implication that they are actually using the things that they are pitching. They've been integrated into their lives and they love them. But it's really just like a marketing angle to show you how you could use these things in your lives, and then to put new things in front of viewers constantly. And then she gets to reap the benefits of trust and likability that aren't as possible with brands that are nameless and faceless. I mean, like Nike as an example, or Ninja is a brand with a name, but they're still not a person. That's what I mean. And Ninja, the brand, they can't imply or show how they went and made smoothies and ice creams with all these machines, because they're not people. Let's now move on and let's watch another kitchen video. This one is labeled or titled A Kitchen Essential. This thing is really big. It's large and in charge. It's kind of cumbersome, and it appears to only put one or have room for one ice tray at a time. So you would have to fill it up once, press it down, fill it up again, press it down again, instead of filling like 3 or 4 trays and then putting them in all at once. You could recreate this at home yourself without buying these things. If you have a container, like glass or plastic, it doesn't have to be a storage container you bought from the container store. It could be a food container, a Ziploc container, whatever you have on hand. And if you have ice molds, then you can make your ice in your molds as normal and then empty those out into your container. And you recreated this for free. I get that this is aesthetic and cute, but this thing is just so cumbersome and takes up so much room in your freezer that it's just not necessary. And you can use what you have. I think exceptions to this could be a dorm situation, a communal living situation, also potentially hand dexterity or hand mobility, I should say. It seems like it'd be far easier to push down like this, opposed to having to like manually maneuver your fingers to release the cubes from their holder. So this is not an essential if you can recreate this with what you have at home. We're going to move on to our next one, so let's watch. To be fair to her, she didn't pitch this as a must-have or an essential, but it is still, everything's in my Amazon storefront. She's made videos like this in the past. Everything's linked in my Amazon storefront. And when you look at her hashtags, Amazon finds, Amazon favorites, you can shop it. And when you look to the comments, here's just some examples. The Ulta mini brands are so cute. I need this. Where are the tiny spray bottles from? They're so cute. And she lets them know they're from Amazon. Can you let me know where you got these from? The mini makeup is so cute. It's so cute. The main reason why people like this and what draws people to buy this is its cuteness factor. There is no real usability of this. I don't think she's intending to use this. And if you do get like 1 or 2 uses out of it, they're so impractical. And I don't hear anybody saying, I want to use this. They're just drawn to it for the cuteness factor. It baffles me to see this, or it frustrates me, I should say, to see this, pitching people things they don't need, won't use because they're cute. You know what happens when you buy this stuff? It's going to sit on your desk or your vanity, wherever, and then collect dust. And then the makeup, if you put it in there, is going to expire. And then you literally wasted $50 buying a mini suitcase and all these mini products for what? Not to mention, all of this stuff is plastic and is going to be extremely difficult to recycle. And it may not even be possible to recycle these items because regular plastic is difficult to recycle all on its own. But when you have really small pieces of plastic and mixed use plastic, it makes it even more challenging to recycle. So now we're buying things we never needed that had no function in our lives, that cost us money. We're not going to use it, and then are going to be difficult, if not impossible, to do anything with when you're done with it in a year's time. I just don't find pitching this stuff to be super responsible. Okay, we're now going to move on to a home gadget. We have once again, I feel like, over-engineered products, or are making these time-saving claims for things that aren't really saving time and are not really doing much different than not using this product. So she writes in the caption, "My new laundry room obsession. This electronic detergent pump dispenses the exact amount you need for your size laundry load. This laundry gadget has saved me so much money because I no longer overpour detergent in fabric softener." First of all, these are $33 each. So you use this, one for laundry detergent, one for fabric softener. That's $66 when you could just use the cap that it comes with. This makes it seem like it's either this or nothing. How else am I supposed to put the laundry in my machine? The cap already has pre-measured lines on it. This is 1 through 5. A lot of these caps have 1 through 5 for size load. If you don't like the measurements on your current cap, you can create a custom measurement, do a little Sharpie on the outside for how much you want your loads to. And then you have to put these pumps into each of your products. And then whenever you finish the product, you're going to have to clean out or wash the pump. They will get gunky at some point, which may be challenging to do because these are electronic. It's not really the time or money or convenience thing that she's implying it to be. This would be good, potentially, if, again, we have mobility or hand dexterity issues. This would be a whole heck of a lot easier than pouring your heavy bottle of Tide or whatever it is you're using that these would be for. So that would make sense. But again, not how these are being pitched. Alternatively, if you are somebody who has hand mobility, dexterity, or grip issues, I think that would make sense to maybe use the pods and putting those in an easier to use container if once they come in, are difficult to maneuver. And all of that would use stuff that you have already. So all in all, this is really, I feel like, over exaggerating the problem and the availability of solutions. They exist without having to buy $33 pumps. And if you are a disabled person or somebody with hand mobility or dexterity issues, and you find stuff like this useful, I am not anti you buying them at all. I would want you to find the tools and supports for you. So I really want to make sure that I say that. But two things can be true at one time. This can be extremely useful for somebody with a disability, but also be selling people who are not disabled things that they don't need. We're not going to watch a fridge restock from this creator. It's one of her most popular videos from the year so far. There we have it. We're just going to talk about a few of the items mentioned or shown. Whenever I see these empty fridges at the start of these fridge restock videos, they make me laugh a little bit. Because, you know, if you haven't been grocery shopping in a few weeks, things can get bare bones, but most people's fridges don't get like truly empty, so nothing is in there. They're emptying their fridge with nothing in it. No random pickle jar at the back or some salad dressing hanging out on the door. And they're doing it for aesthetic purposes. But most people, when they are restocking their fridge after a grocery trip, it's not starting from empty. And you also don't need to empty out your entire fridge every month or every 2 weeks. For the herb savers, to me, these items are benefiting from people's lack of knowledge. Convenience culture and consumer culture does that. Because you see this, and for some people, they're seeing this video and they're looking at these things and they're coming across them for the first time and they go, wow, these things look super useful. And they are. However, you don't need to buy these things in order to get the effect of what they do. You can recreate this all on your own with stuff you already have. You can use a glass cup, mug, whatever you got. I have at times not had enough like glassware to put them in. And so I've used a mug like this. You treat them like flowers. You fill them up and then you put your herbs in. You could put multiple herbs in one glass potentially if they fit. You could alternatively use a yogurt container if you have one, like the big yogurt containers. You could also, if you don't have any of those things, you could use the pasta sauce jar. Pickle jars are probably too big for these kinds of things. I mean, pasta sauce jar is still not ideal, but if you got it, then it works. If you have produce bags at home, I know a lot of people hoard them. And so even if your grocery store no longer carries them, if you have them at home, you just put it over like a little tent, and then you would rubber band the two things together. Your herbs can stay in your fridge for weeks like that. Same with asparagus and sometimes celery too, depending on how it comes. I think majority of people could do that with stuff they already have. Even if you don't have the produce bags, putting the herbs or the asparagus or whatever just in water in a cup is already better than leaving it in your fridge and will give you majority of what you can get from these devices. These are all plastic too. And also, what a great way to use some of the mugs or glassware you already have. I bet you have some cute mugs and cups and glasses. I bet you do. Or stuff that sits at the back of your cupboard that you never use and you go, oh, what should I use this for? Perfect use case. And then she also has the berry holders. And I get that when you look at them, you can go, wow, those are cool. Those look functional. My own experience tells me that berries hold up best when you prolong your washing, like when you wash them just before eating. And so washing your berries right when they come home and then keeping them kind of moist in your fridge, I generally makes them go off faster. And also, like, not everything has to be engineered. Your berry container doesn't have to have a built-in strainer. That's what strainers are for. Most people have one. You can wash them in your strainer, or if you don't have a strainer, you can wash them in the berry carton that they comes in. That's perfectly acceptable to do as well. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to buy a miniature version of something you already have. And then we see those things and we go, wow, that looks cool. I don't have that. That's a better way to store my berries. Well, you already have the colander or the strainer that you can wash your berries in, and it's better to prolong your washing. It's not really much more difficult to take the berry from the container, put it in your strainer, wash it a bit, and then eat them, opposed to take this container, put it under water, wash them. It's like nearly identical. It's not really going to save you time, but it's going to cost you extra money. If you do want to put them in a different container, feel free to use glassware or containers you already have. I sometimes do that. Like if I just want a little cute moment, I'll put them in a little glass container. Same with strawberries. That's perfectly fine. And I was mentioning that there's like that functional use value that intrigues us about these products. But I also think that the implication of these products, and potentially this video as well, is that they're going to help with freshness. Right? Like, buy these containers and you'll have better produce, fresher produce. So it adds an extra layer of functionality. It's not just its useful quick strainer thing, but if I buy this thing, my produce will last longer. I'll have better produce. And the packaging your berries comes in are already well suited for this task of storing your berries and keeping them relatively fresh. Other methods of storing berries are in a glass jar, unwashed glass jar. Use that pickle container or that pasta sauce jar and seal it airtight. I made a video about this last year. That as well uses what you have. Also, there's these containers shown at the end of the video that are, I think you're going to have to see it because describing it might be a little bit weird, where when you put it on the item, it like conforms to the product. Kind of, I don't think it's silicone, but almost like a type of saran wrap. Those things may be useful for a while, but they will 100% wear out and break eventually. Lastly, she has those containers for the meats and cheese, and then the other food storage containers that are different later on. And these containers are nice, but if you don't need more food containers, you don't need to buy these. Like, the only real difference between these containers and your containers is that they might look a little bit different. And these are ultimately an aesthetic replacement. Things that we are buying not because the item is not functional anymore, but because this thing that you're seeing is a slightly cuter version or more aesthetic version of the thing that you already have. And one thing that I think about all the time, or that helps me not buy things, is when I think about that fact, is my thing functioning and working? And am I overall pleased with it? Yes. And when we focus on aesthetics, or when we get too caught up in aesthetics, that becomes the main reason why we declutter and get rid of stuff or buy more things. And if we are too caught up in that, then it's the aesthetics that encourage us to purchase things. The lives of our things are cut short far more quickly with aesthetics. And that happens typically when we're focused on aesthetics far sooner than when we think about the functionality and lifespan of our items. Like if you have glassware can last you years, if not decades, and is typically not something that people have to replace every 2 years or 5 years. If you drop or break something, potentially, sometimes you may need to replace lids because lids aren't typically glass as well. They might be plastic or bamboo, or replacing seals. That is relatively normal, but we don't typically have to replace those things. If you have plastic, yes, that can go off and that might need to be replaced far sooner than glass. But ask yourself, really, is this thing still functional and usable? Is the only problem with my item that it's not the newest thing? The thing about aesthetics is that they change all the time, which gives us new things to want all the time. We're talking about glassware here, which may be a relatively easy thing for you to resist, but the same principles apply outside of glassware. styles, fashion, home decor, hobby supplies, even sticker designs. All of these things change. And if we are so focused on aesthetics, there is always something new to want. There's always an upgraded version, a better version, a different version. And so where do you draw the line? Personally, I'm not trying to get you to come to a specific conclusion, but a genuine question. And personally speaking, that's how I've come in the past to just waste money, is just by changing and upgrading things and investing in items. But if you're investing, let's say clothing as an example, or shoes, you can't call something an investment if you replace it every 2 years, because there's a newer style, a newer silhouette. We're going to move on. And at the end of March, there was an Amazon spring sale. So we're going to watch a video from that.
In case nobody has told you yet, the Amazon Home Big Spring Sale is less than 5 days away with the most incredible deals on the best home items.
This olive tree is such a vibe, and my favorite neutral rug. It's so soft, it does not shed. This gorgeous fluted console table and Sherpa ottoman. We love a marble decor piece, a lamp, another sideboard. This vintage bench has been my favorite for 3 years now, and this console table also doubles as a TV stand. The most viral bed pillows on Amazon. This spray protects against liquids and stains. My favorite non-slip and washable bath mat. This oversized blanket is perfect for a bedroom, and I love these storage ottomans. They're pretty and functional. This tapestry is so cute, and these accent chairs are so comfortable.
There are two things I want to talk about for this video. The first is that she's kind of acting like I'm sharing this really exciting deal or sale moment with you. If you didn't know, let me tell you, like a friend to a friend. Our caption is amazing spring sale is coming. You know, kind of like, oh my God, did you hear? Which she sounds nice. She sounds like a lovely person, but she's not telling you about the sale to tell you about the sale. She's telling you about the sale so she can sell you stuff, because sales entice people to spend money, to spend more money than they planned. And also she posted this, I think, during the sale. And majority of her recommendations are furniture, which can be super expensive things to buy. So if you were to see these things and buy from her video, it would be impulse purchasing. And impulse buying furniture is a really expensive thing to impulse buy. And so ultimately this video like encourages that, like finding things to want from the sale. If there's something that you want and you're waiting for a sale that's planned spending, you've planned for it, you've money wise, then sure, this is generally sales speaking. But if you have not planned for it, shopping the sale doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And that's what this is encouraging. The second thing is that majority of her pitches, as I was just mentioning, are home decor items. These are the perfect things to find from the thrift store. If the thrift store is not your game, Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji or Craigslist. Wait, is Craigslist still a thing in the US? Kijiji here is still popping. You can find so many amazing items secondhand. Like you can find so much amazing stuff in secondhand marketplaces that will be cheaper than buying this low quality furniture. You can find really great, unique items that are tailored to your preferences from these secondhand marketplaces. And I really just want to encourage that. Furniture items, home decor items are some of the best things to buy secondhand. We're now going to end on this one video from a creator, and it's Amazon adjacent. This video popped up when I was looking at Amazon like Prime Day content. This one is from last summer. We're just going to watch a snippet of it so we can get some context, because I need to compare it to another video.
This is shit from Amazon that actually changed my life and will probably change yours too. Is actually worth the money, non-bullshit edition. Okay, first and foremost, let's get this bad boy out of the way with. This is a water flosser. I talked about it so much on my page, but water flossing will literally change your life. It'll change how your teeth look. It's literally a non-negotiable. Now onto random things. These are microfiber cloths that come in a pack of 24 or 30. I love these. If you've seen those trend of people using those like single-use towelettes that you just like throw in the garbage after you use them, and then you pay $30 for paper towel for your face. I just don't get it. I buy these reusable microfiber cloths. I am acne prone, so I do use them to like dry my face after I wash my face, etc. They're super, super soft. I love them, and it's just better for them. If you follow me, you know.
So after I saw this video, I went and was scrolling through her page, looking at her content. I remembered seeing her talk about underconsumption core, and I was looking for that video. And then I got distracted by some of her content. And then I saw this video. It's all going to make sense.
As a Canadian, I will never get sick of shopping at Target, so come with me to restock some of my favorite non-negotiable hygiene products. First off, I was so excited to see that these clean towels are now available at Target, and I feel like you guys were excited too because the top 2 rows were almost sold out. But yeah, as an acne-prone girly, I can't imagine not using these. I've noticed way less breakouts, and it's just one less thing to worry about. And shout out to you guys because you guys are the ones who told me about Next, them. I had a stock.
What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? I generally agree with the message of her first video that having a handful of towels can be a good thing. If you are acne prone, you don't have to buy them from Amazon. You also don't need like dozens, but sometimes they come in like 10 packs or 12 packs. Like you could buy these from your grocery store or you can make them yourself. She then calls the Clean Club towels wasteful, and then like 5 months later does a sponsorship with him. Shout out to you guys for letting me know that these exist at Target. No, girl, Clean Club Towels reached out to you to do the sponsorship. She says in this Clean Club Towel video, as an acne prone girly, I literally can't imagine not using these. You literally did 5 months ago. You weren't using them then and said that these are wasteful. You having a sponsorship with them does not change that these are wasteful and unnecessary. And the solution or the alternative to these Clean Club towels are the exact thing that you were doing 5 months ago. This doesn't have like a ton to do with Amazon, other than the Clean Club towels are available on Target and Amazon, and they can be pitched in this video. But it just kind of felt Amazon adjacent, and I learned about this as I was preparing for this video, so it kind of felt relevant and really just brings to me like influencer trust. And I feel like that's a part of these Amazon videos is the trust of the recommendation. A decade ago, it kind of felt like we all trusted influencers, or there was a greater trust in influencer and the recommendation. And many of us assumed that the person was using the thing that they were recommending. And people often explained why they like stuff. Trust just feels kind of different in 2025 in that there are lots of accounts that don't show their face or don't talk about why they like products and they just show them. Like earlier we were talking about like the fridge restock video or the ice cream video where people are showing things being used in their everyday lives, and it's not necessarily trust the person, but you can trust the recommendation. You are consistently buying things from them and the stuff works out and they're good. But stuff like this, I feel like should erode our trust in a person. Or even some of the things that I was mentioning, like pitching multiple solutions to the same problem, which I think technically this falls into. To me, just personally, if I am watching content and the person says this skincare line is great. Oh no, this skincare line is great. Or this skincare line changed my life. This skincare line changed my life. I'm using this ice cream machine and now this is ice cream machine I'm using. That erodes my trust. I guess to conclude, the one I would like to conclude is that a lot of the time I do dog on influencers for their behavior and for how they share things online, and also for their encouragement of overconsumption. It's not a good thing. And I'm not saying influencers have no role, but it's also up to us as viewers to bring our critical thinking to what we watch and not just what we watch, who we watch and how we consume content. And if we're the kinds of people who are heavily influenced by shopping content or these Amazon videos, or when we're watching content, like if we're the most influenceable at nighttime, maybe we don't save this content for nighttime. Maybe watch it at moments when we are less influenceable or our critical thinking is on a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? I do get influenced as well. I've been watching a lot of crafting vlogs, and now all of a sudden your girl wants to start crafting things that she's never crafted before. You know, I'm not saying I'm immune to this kind of thing, but if you're cognizant of how and when you're influenced, you can mitigate some of that and also choose how you're being influenced, because there is such thing as positive influence, and we can decide what a positive influence looks like for us. Like, I'm consuming a lot of sewing content right now, and that is helping to deter the shopping itches I was feeling towards spring, and is encouraging me and kind of maybe shifting the itch from shopping to like, I really, really want to sew. I consider that to be a positive influence. I'm influencing myself to take an action, or consuming content I know is influencing me, but I consider that influence to be positive. I feel like this is a positive way to end the video. So that's everything for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I want to give an extra special thank you, shout out to my members. Thank y'all so much for joining the membership. If that's not for you and you want to support the channel, like this video, leave a comment. Those things help tremendously. Leaving comments help tremendously. And so you can let me know what joy moment you've had recently, or number 2, how do you positively influence yourself with the content you consume? I would love to know that in the comments as well. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you again around here soon. Bye.